This is the TOSOT 24,000 British Thermal Units Wireless Internet Mini Split Air Conditioner and Heater. It turned my big open living and workspace into a quiet, steady comfort zone, and it did it without the loud fan noise and temperature swings I was used to. This belongs in the Ductless Mini Split category, and it makes the most sense for medium to large rooms, or for open layouts where a single window unit just cannot keep up. I wanted one system that could cool in the summer, heat in the winter, remove humidity on sticky days, and do it efficiently enough that I would not dread the utility bill. That is exactly why I went for this size and this style. The indoor unit looks clean and minimal. It is a long, slim rectangle with rounded edges and a small temperature display that glows through the front panel. The light can be turned off for sleep, which I appreciate because I am picky about light in a bedroom. It sits close to the wall and does not feel bulky once it is up. The louvers move up and down, and there are side fins to push air left and right, so the flow spreads across the room instead of blasting one spot. The remote is lightweight with clear labeling. No clutter, no tiny mystery icons. I almost never have to think about which button to press. Outdoors, the condenser is a typical compact box and it hums more quietly than I expected. It is not silent, but I barely notice it from inside with the windows closed. I was nervous about the setup before it arrived. I read the manual, watched a few installation videos from other owners, and decided I would handle the mounting and the wall pass-through, but I would call in a professional for the refrigerant lines, the vacuum pull, and the final checks. That ended up being a good call for me. The packaging was solid. Everything arrived without a scratch and all the hardware was in the box. I used a sturdy level when I hung the indoor mounting plate, made sure the drain hose sloped downward, and kept the line set bend gentle so I would not kink it. If you have the tools and experience, you might be comfortable doing it all. I am handy, but I am not trained on sealed refrigeration systems, so having a technician handle that part bought me peace of mind. There are a couple of installation quirks that stood out. The wall bracket does not offer a lot of tilt adjustment, so getting the plate perfectly level matters more than you might expect. If your wall is a little off, plan ahead with shims. Also, routing the thick insulated lines through a single clean hole takes patience. That part felt awkward in the moment, but once it is done, you never think about it again. Getting it connected to my home wireless network took me 2 tries. The first time I moved too fast. On the second try, I followed the instructions step by step and used my 2.4 GHz network, and it paired without drama. Since then it has stayed online. The companion application is straightforward once you get used to it, but on the first day I had to poke around to find where schedules and swing controls were hidden. There is a small learning curve. After a week it felt second nature. In day-to-day use, the experience is smooth. Response from the remote is instant. The application mirrors all the main controls, so I can change mode, adjust temperature, set the fan, toggle the display light, or nudge the louvers without being in the same room. I also connected it to Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant. Being able to ask for a degree change when I am cooking or carrying groceries sounds like a luxury, but it quickly becomes normal and genuinely useful. Cooling performance is the headline here. This unit moves a lot of air, but it never sounds like a wind tunnel. On the lower fan settings, it is a soft whisper. I measured sound levels with a simple meter and consistently saw readings in the low 20s to mid 30s in decibels at a few feet away. In practical terms, I can work on calls, watch a movie, or fall asleep with it running, and it does not intrude. When I press the turbo button, it ramps up and drops the room temperature faster than any window unit I have owned. That burst mode is great when I walk in on a hot day and forgot to pre-cool. After the first punch of cooling, it settles down and holds the set point quietly. Heating surprised me. I was curious how well a mini split would handle real winter weather. My space is roughly 1,200 square feet with average insulation. On nights below freezing, it maintained a steady temperature without running constantly. There is a brief defrost cycle once in a while when it is very cold, which pauses heat for a minute or two. But the room does not swing wildly because the fan slows and the system catches up smoothly. The air does not feel scorched or dry. It is more of a gentle, even warmth. The inverter behavior is the reason the temperature feels so stable. Instead of a simple on and off blast, the compressor modulates to match the load. I notice that most on humid days. In dehumidify mode, it pulls moisture steadily without turning the room into a fridge. The air feels less sticky, and that alone makes summer more comfortable. I keep the fan in auto most of the time, and I let the louvers sweep up, down, left, and right to avoid cold spots near the sofa and warm spots near the kitchen. Energy use was my other concern. This unit carries a very high seasonal energy efficiency ratio 2 rating. On paper, that means it should use less electricity for the same cooling compared to basic window units. In practice, my electric usage for cooling months dropped noticeably compared to last year with my old system. I'm not going to throw out exact penny numbers because every house is different, but the trend has been clear. I set it and forget it, and the bill reflects that efficiency. If you care about long-term costs, this matters. Real-world testing for me looks like everyday life. A quiet afternoon working near the unit, a late-night movie with lights off, a weekend get-together with several people and a stove throwing heat, and a morning after a cold front rolls through. In all of those moments, the TOSOT stayed composed. On movie nights, I turned off the front display light so the room stayed dark. During a small party, I hit turbo for about 15 minutes to get ahead of the body heat in the oven. Then I went back to auto and it held steady. On a damp summer day after a thunderstorm, I ran dehumidify for an hour, and the space felt lighter without needing to drop the temperature as far. My most specific use case is sleep. I am a light sleeper, and I am picky about airflow. A constant draft on my face will wake me up, and any buzzing fan tone in the room is distracting. I set the target temperature a couple degrees lower before bed, turn off the front light, set the louvers to angle the airflow above the bed instead of directly at it, and leave the fan on low. The noise is a soft hush, more like white noise than a fan. I sleep through the night without that annoying pattern of waking up hot or cold. In the morning, I bump the temperature back up with a quick voice command without leaving the covers. That routine has been a quiet highlight for me. The smart touches that actually matter are simple. Schedules let me set a weekday routine and a weekend routine so I am not constantly fiddling. The ability to turn the front light off is small but meaningful. The swing controls prevent hot and cold pockets in my long room. The turbo mode gets me quick relief when I forget to pre-cool or preheat. The application remembers the last settings, so when the power flickers, it comes back in the same state. None of this feels like gimmicks. It is the difference between constantly babysitting a system and letting it blend into your life. A few nitpicks are worth calling out. The installation bracket could use a touch more adjustability. If your wall is wavy, take the extra time to get it right because there is not much forgiveness after the fact. The companion application is functional but not perfectly intuitive on day one. I had to hunt for a couple of settings, and the translation of a few labels could be clearer. It is fine once you know where things live. The line set insulation is thick, which is good for performance, but it makes the final wall cover a little chunky if you are going for a super clean look. None of these are deal breakers, just details I noticed while living with it. Maintenance has been easy so far. I pop the front panel, slide the reusable filters out, give them a quick vacuum and rinse, and let them dry before putting them back. That routine keeps airflow strong and helps the unit stay efficient. I plan to do a deeper clean of the coils once a year, the same way I would with any mini split. I also check the outdoor unit once in a while to make sure leaves and lint are not blocking the fins. After months of daily use, my take is straightforward. If you want a single system that can quietly cool and heat a medium to large space, that holds a steady temperature, and that you can control from the couch or while you are away, this TOSOT Mini Split absolutely delivers. It is not a flashy centerpiece, and that is the point. It is a reliable appliance that blends into the background and keeps life comfortable. If you are new to mini splits, consider getting a professional for the refrigerant work. If you are comfortable with tools and have experience, the rest is manageable with patience. The energy savings and the low noise are the two things that make me happiest. I chose this model. I also appreciate having a real warranty to lean on, even though I have not needed it yet. If you are replacing a loud window unit, trying to make an open-plan living room usable through summer and winter, or setting up a home office that does not sound like a server closet, this is worth serious consideration. It has the power to cover a big room, the efficiency to make long-term sense, and the smart features that remove daily friction. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the TOSOT 24,000 BTU Wi-Fi mini split AC heater. Thank you for watching.